What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk live show. We are excited to be back live once again, even though we're obviously coming off of I guess predictable is the word, but definitely tough loss here for sure.
What do you? No, whoa! What are you talking about? We won.
Oh, you won? Oh,
yeah, Pac-9 baseball won on Saturday. What are you talking about?
My bad, Greg. You're right. And a good win. And don't worry, just to scratch Greg's back, we'll give some time towards the Pac-9 too as well. So, but with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, if you've been with us before, you know the drill. Any questions, comments, thoughts that you got, make sure to put them in the chat. Even if you have some questions about any private flight information that's been throwing around on social media as well. So, we'll have some fun here. But you got myself, Blade Smith, Greg Legg, Michael Tracy, and Carson back on the live stream, man. Dude, Carson, man, what's up, stranger?
Hello. I'm doing pretty good. We got fall break this week, so excited for that.
Well, I didn't ask how you're doing. I just said you're back. So, no one cares.
Wow. Shots fired.
Jeez, Layden. Good.
I'm glad that you're back. How are you doing, Carson?
I'm doing good.
Anyway, so unfortunately, Benjamin, we're gonna get to football here first because we are in football season. We are technically not in baseball season yet, even though Greg would argue that point. And basketball is very, very soon. So, but getting right to it here real quick, starting off at the top here. So 36-7 loss, let's put it this way. I'll kind of summarize this really because I want to talk about this, and then I want to talk about college football a little bit on a wider scale here. But really come out of this, guys. I mean, and let me know if you disagree. I feel like, we can talk about the defense. We could, but let's be real. Like, I mean, in my opinion, all this falls on the offense once again. I mean, the defense gave you every opportunity through 3 quarters to win this football game, to grab the bull by the horns, and it couldn't be done. So, I mean, first of all, and Greg, I want to kind of hear your experience in terms of being back in South Bend. But real quick, I want to kind of feel the room out a little bit because this is how I felt. I want to see how you guys felt as well. Would you guys kind of agree with that sentiment? And Greg, I'll get your thoughts on it first, maybe.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought the defense did more than what they needed to do in the first half and even in the first drive or two into the third quarter. Stopping them twice inside the 15-yard line on downs, getting some turnovers, just keep. Because this is what you wanted in this game, is just to kind of be able to stick around and find. And we talked about it last week. Just kind of stick around, and then maybe find a way at the end to make it happen. And other than that one, 80-yard-ish drive that ended in the touchdown, the offense was pretty mundane and just couldn't get in the rhythm. And if you read the comments and heard the comments after the game from especially CJ Bailey, he said straight up they didn't do anything that we weren't expecting them to do, and we just couldn't execute the offense. And look, our defense is thin. And so, we've got a decent first string kind of guy still hanging around. And then when you start, wearing into them in the second half, they just get tired, and you can see the explosives happen in the second half that didn't happen in the first.
Yeah. Carson, man, what's your thoughts on that? Talking, defense versus offense.
Yeah. For the first 3 quarters, I mean, the defense played their hearts out. Like, you can't show me that game and tell me that the guys didn't show up and play hard, right? It's just offense couldn't do anything other than one explosive play in the first half. I mean, just couldn't get on the board, couldn't make big plays, couldn't take advantage of the takeaways. I mean, takeaways are big, but if you can't take advantage of them, then what's the point? Exactly.
Yeah. So, Michael, I mean, instead of just maybe asking the same thing, I'll maybe kind of differ a little bit. Before last week when I was on for a little bit, one of the keys I said, I think we all agreed to it 100%, is that this is going to be the CJ show me what you got game. If this is going to be a game that we're going to be competitive in, and with how the first 3 quarters went, if we're going to win this game, it's going to be because CJ Bailey What do you got? Are you going to be able to show that maturity, show that confidence, and, take control of this game, not beat yourself, and take control here? So, I mean, 19 of 31. Oh, sorry. That was Notre Dame stats.
That's Notre Dame's guy,
17 of 30 for 186 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, a QBR 41.2. Thoughts? I guess I'll just ask that question like that. Thoughts, CJ Bailey?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely his worst game of the year so far, and maybe since last year too. But it was probably the toughest environment he's played.
First actual road game.
Yep, first road game. True road game.
But you expected him to be a little bit better. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him to go out and throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns, but yeah, the offense kind of has been the better side of the football so far. And like it ended up being a 29-point game, and which I don't think just saying that surprises anybody, but the final score being 36-7 with the offense only scoring 7, I think is not how we expected it to go. I think it was expected to be much more high scoring, like we weren't going to be able to stop them. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. He's definitely struggled since Duke.
Yep.
But you get your bye week in now, and yeah, you just got to turn it around. I mean, you really only have Miami. That's going to be a really tough one, but I think the rest of the games are winnable games. You'll probably be underdogs and everything, but UNC, but they're still winnable. But you need Bailey to kind of get back to what he looked like the first 3 games of the season, and not the last 4 outside of Campbell, of course.
Yeah, no, I think that quote unquote offsides interception, CJ hasn't looked back, unfortunately, on that moment. But I do want to ask you, Greg, and I mean, because obviously with us, you don't really want to talk about NIL, what players are making, things like that, but a couple of different, specifically Giulio's Novis, have basically said his numbers straight out a couple different times on their show. So for a guy that's making 1.4 like he is, and again, I don't like that Giulio's has said that, but he said it so many times publicly at this point. I'm like, well, I mean, it's public knowledge now. So for Bailey,
I think
that's
1.4. A little high, to be honest with you.
I don't think that's what he's making.
That's what Giulio said.
I don't agree.
So
well,
yeah. So
I don't agree with that number.
Yeah. But either way,
but
so
regardless,
he's getting paid.
He's getting paid, so we can at least agree on that part.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. The funny thing is offense is an 11-person game, right? So I'm not going to put everything on CJ Bailey.
No.
But he's got to make plays when the opportunity presents itself. It's tough because he's got talent. We've seen it. It's the consistency part that is kind of missing right now in his game. He'll go out and make 2 or 3 good plays, and then he'll make a play where you're going, "Ugh, what was that?" But at the same time,
the reason why though, I feel like though, and here's I'm sorry, Greg, to interrupt, but here's my thing though, is that with CJ, I'm sitting here saying, but again, why can't you produce? What do you think is holding CJ back outside of personally? Like, does he have enough weapons? Yes.
Yeah.
Does he have a solid enough offensive line? From a pass grade perspective, they've done well enough. And when we've talked about even Virginia Tech game, like some of the sacks he gave up was because he held the ball too long, or a refusal to step into the pocket instead of stepping back. And so that's my frustration though, is like, yes, like, it's not all on him. I get that 100%. But
where else I was going to go is, I mean, he's basically at a full season of being playing at this point, right? So quarterback is not a position where you just go, boom, great. Like I'm locked in. I'm, the next best thing since sliced bread.
It's not like you're a receiver where it's just like, oh yeah, go run your routes,
right?
Go be speedy.
Yeah, it's a lot more detailed position. But I mean, I'm not trying to deflect here. Like, he still has to produce, but there's there's a learning curve to the position, and when you're playing these teams, they scout you just as much as you scout them, and at the end of the day, you still have it's still a results oriented business, and at some point he's got to put it up or
Put up or shut up.
Yeah, but there's still time. Like I don't. We as fans, we always come back to this, but I know.
Yeah.
Were our expectations unrealistic to begin with? Is he who we kind of thought he was? I don't know. I still think there's room for growth. I think there's still some room to reach that ceiling. I don't think he's at where we expect him to be, but it needs to get there rather quickly.
Yeah. I think the first 3 games he was ahead of where I was expecting to be. I mean, the way the numbers he was putting up with the efficiency, which is kind of what's dropped off in recent games, he's still putting up decent numbers in some of these. But the way in his throws and
decision
the way
making,
he was just those first 3 games.
Those first 3 games
in ECU. I mean, like I was like, oh okay, like.
But do we have to put some context behind that as far as the quality of the opponent? Like
Virginia's ranked number 18.
I feel you.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I think those are things somewhat independent of the opponent too.
Yeah.
Here, let's and maybe Carson, maybe you wrote this article for the technician.
Carson
No,
did.
that was Josiah.
Okay.
I actually read it.
Rusty saying technician wrote an article implying the Pack quote unquote quit on Saturday. What are y'all's thoughts? Carson, what's your thoughts on it? Yeah, Carson, man, Mr. Technician, what you got? What's your thoughts on your coworker Josiah's article saying the Pack quit?
Yeah, I mean, in the press room, a lot of those guys are very critical of Doran, and so whenever they lose, they're gonna write a column article and sort of try to lash out. But I mean,
well, hold on. Let me ask you this: do you agree or disagree?
I guess somewhat in the middle. I mean, I appreciate everything Coach Doran's done, but I don't think he's what NC State needs right now. But I still want him to be able to finish out the season, just because to have that consistency.
That's fair.
Yep.
But I mean, when it comes
Michael.
to Saturday, I don't think we quit at all. I mean,
it was the whole thing
at halftime.
It was the whole thing around Noah Rogers at the end of the game. That's kind of where the article was taking you towards, right? And no offense to your coworker, there's a lot of speculation, right? So he took that speculation and then turned it to say, "Hey, did they quit?" Right?
What happened? Did he not?
He just walked off the field with some time left on the clock. I personally didn't see it from where I was at. I don't even know how much time was on the clock. That wasn't even mentioned in the article. Again, not bashing your coworker there, Carson. Just context. I don't know. I don't feel like this team has quit.
No.
No. Like look at how the defense played for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
You cannot,
every single state fan would have taken 10-7 at halftime before the game.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. And again, not bashing. Your guy's got a job to do, and I don't think it's the worst take. I just don't agree with the take. I get it. You're in year 13 of Doran. We've never quite reached the pinnacle, or heck, even played in the pinnacle. So there's all of those standard talking points that have been going around for years. And then you had this opportunity to kind of take it and kind of cherry pick what happened at the end and then write an article against it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, like, obviously this week for Doran's press conferences, I mean, you saw the headlines of, we got to learn, we got to get together and move forward. Like, the standard coach talk. I mean, what else is he going to say, after, a loss to Virginia Tech and, getting ready for, playing on the road at Notre Dame. It's standard talk. So, with that being said, yeah, I mean, but if you know anything about a Doran staff or a Doran led team, is that they're going to fight their butts off to the end. It's a strong culture. I mean, again, like that strong culture that Peyton Wilson talked about 2-3 years ago has not gone away. It's still a strong culture. Now it's a different kind of culture because there's a lot of pieces that haven't been here since the beginning that have been kind of brought into the culture along the way. But I mean, if you speak with Hollywood, if you hear how Hollywood talks, if you hear how Justin Jolie talks, if you hear how Wesley Grimes talks, all those guys, it's a very not me attitude. It's a very we mantra. So I don't think that, I think it's, listen, I mean, Noah Rogers, the one play I'm thinking about with CJ was, I think it was the third down, and Noah Rogers had the cornerback beat, and Jolie overthrew him, and it would have been a walk-in touchdown. It was a frustrating day. It was a frustrating day. So
for me, you look at the ACC standings, and there's a team down there 0-3 in the conference called Florida State, right? So, we're 1-2. There's like 4 teams undefeated, but once you get there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams undefeated, but Miami's only 1-0. But we're 1-2, but everyone else is 2-1 or worse. It's not like there's still a ton of season. And look, I don't think that article gets written if we lose to Virginia Tech. And I think a lot of this is centered around one game where, yes, it was a bad loss, but now we just keep piling on that one loss.
I'll spoil it for you, Greg. Yes, it was 100% because of Virginia Tech game. 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. I mean, it was just a game you can't lose, but it's also it doesn't define your whole season if you don't let it. Like, they just got to steal another one back half of the season.
Yeah. And let's be real. Did we really think we were going to beat Notre Dame? Like, honestly, no. Like, I definitely thought we could have covered the spread. And we were there until like the end of the fourth quarter. Again, we were talking about CJ earlier, just mishandling a snap deep in your own end zone, or your own end of the field, and get into safety against that. You have to play clean ball when you're playing against the number 16 team in the country. And we just didn't do that. We didn't take advantage of situational football. And look, I thought we did great stopping the run. Like, they only averaged 3.7 yards per rush. So
against Jeremiah Love as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
And so, like, you had to sell out for one or the other, right? And we sold out to the run because we thought that was their strength. We made their quarterback try to beat us. Like, he struggled at times, and we just didn't have the horses in the back to kind of cover those guys. There was a lot of open, soft catches, and then they would break tackles. It's just the same stuff over and over again that we're kind of harping on.
Yep, exactly.
I do think the defensive performance is encouraging. Now, you obviously have the drop off on the offensive side of the ball, which is concerning, but I think you trust the offense to get back into shape that they were, more so than you really thought the defense after the first 5 games would really improve so much. I mean, and that was against a really good offense. I mean, you forced 2 turnovers, stopped them on 4th down twice. Got a couple sacks. Like, they did enough against a really good offense for us to win. So that gives me a little bit of hope for the rest of the year. You just need that offense to get clicking again.
So kind of talking about kind of what's next. So obviously, it's in a bye week this week, and then they go to Pitt, to face a very hot Pitt, team right now for sure, who definitely I think have found a stud freshman quarterback now. Again, if they'll be able to keep him, is a whole another question, obviously. But what else is new in today's college football? Kind of talking. I honestly think that really. Again, this bye week is coming at a perfect time for sure.
It's a late bye.
It's a late bye, correct. But also too, especially, I think that all these questions about the technician saying that Doran's team quit. We'll find out a lot about that against Pitt. Because I mean, if this is a Doran team, which I expect it to be, we should see definitely a slightly developed NC State football team going up to Pittsburgh in 2 weeks. So,
well, the thing to keep in mind too is when we have the bye this week, Pitt plays Syracuse, so we have an extra week to prepare.
That's nice.
So you would hope, right? Because I think you're bringing up a really good point. You're going to tell really quick if this team, quote unquote, has quit.
Correct.
After having an extra week to prepare for an opponent, where you should know all their tendencies, you should be able to tell you like what kind of gum they chew. Like you should know everything about this team when you go play up there in 2 weeks.
Yep. And once again, because what is the one thing that FSU could not do to stop the Pitt quarterback? Couldn't get pressure on him. Got to find ways to get pressure on him.
I thought we did an actually okay job against the Notre Dame this week in getting some pressure. I don't know what the stats bared out, but I felt like the quarterback was kind of running around a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean 19 of 30, 19 of 31. So I mean, it's not he didn't have a high completion percentage. So again, it was. I'm not even wasting time in terms of talking about defense, just like we've said. They've played well enough. The
2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, well, the reason why Saad Brown got his interception was because of pressure on the quarterback. So simple as that. So, any other final thoughts, guys, before we jump to kind of bigger college football picture here?
Absolutely beautiful day for football up there, though. It was refreshing going to see a Notre Dame game and not having to wear rain galoshes and ponchos and all of that.
Well, so and I guess question that. So, I mean, would you say your experience was any different than the 2018 experience?
It was 18, 17. I can't remember. Yeah,
17?
I can't remember when it was. Yeah. Not total. I mean, my dad was with me, so that made it really cool experience. My wife's uncle went with us, so it was a really cool dude's trip up.
Cool.
They just do it right. I've been to Kansas for basketball. I've been to Notre Dame for football. If you're a fan of those sports, you have to make these kinds of trips. Even if you feel like you're gonna get a beat down or whatever. It's the full experience, because Notre Dame is a first class university, and they know, like, they actually have printed programs still. I don't actually, hold on. I have my hold on, give me 1 second.
They just have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, but look at this. I mean, they actually have game balls, like, for the actual game. They make T-shirts for the game. They just know what they're doing up there, man. And
they got more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they offer campus. They opened up the campus for tours, and you go to the Basilica. You can go to the Golden Dome building, which is the administrative building. It's just an amazing experience. So I would definitely encourage folks to try to make a trip up there. I was disappointed in the lack of turnout by NC State fans, but I get it in a year where we're just kind of struggling, and they kind of, when you're going there 21 and a half, 22 and a half point underdogs, it just doesn't feel that way. We didn't sell a lot of tickets. We gave a lot back. But again, take that all out of consideration. The fans are really good up there. But yeah, good time.
Yeah, good. I love it. Kind of want to talk a little bit about bigger picture, and then we'll jump on over some basketball here real quick. I just wanted to kind of bring something up that I was talking about with my wife Ashlyn about this evening. Is obviously the news came out of James Franklin being relieved of his duties on Sunday morning, and I'll be honest again. I mean, what's that?
Oh, why do you bring this up?
I know, right? No, well, not because of any rumors with, anyway, but, and not because of that, but yeah, no. So here's my thing it's just, it's, I've always loved college football. Like, whenever somebody says, which you love more, like, do you follow a college team versus an NFL team? I'm like, yeah, no, I am all about college football for sure. Love college football. And, obviously with NIL and the transfer portal, things have changed, such as, like now it's, used to, you can name every single player on your team, and you went to spring games to see, like, what are the young guys looking like? What was that great recruit that you got looking like? Football recruiting was a huge deal. Now it's not so much anymore. And you're able to, like, project out your depth chart. Can't do that much anymore. And players committing to be a part of your team, but then again, offer more money elsewhere and they're leaving. But now also too, first of all, as much as I love Pat McAfee, It's definitely not. College game day is not the same without Lee Corso. It's just not. It's not, in my opinion, for sure. Just missing the headgear is just it's different. But with that being said, though, too, is that it's definitely frustrating. I get it from the Penn State's perspective of, yes, he has not won a title. He's not gotten to the ceiling that Penn State fans are used to. But once again, it is crazy to think about that. In college football, a coach was just fired that had at least 10 wins over the last 3 years, went to the college football semifinals last year, won the Rose Bowl 3 years ago, is a Penn State guy through and through. It was his dream job, from Pennsylvania. Young guy, recruits his butt off, had multiple 5-star recruits committed for class 2026, 2027, and he just got fired. And I mean, and also too, because again, a few weeks ago, they were talking about Dabo Swinney getting fired, and I was saying, no, there's no chance that can happen. But now that James Franklin has gotten fired, I'm sitting here like, well, dang, nobody is untouchable at this point. Nobody's untouchable at this point. And so it's just like literally, like Penn State just fired a great coach and paid him $50 million to go try and find somebody that is going to be better. Like, that is a humongous risk for sure. Like, who are you going to get that you are sure is going to be worth that? So all that being said, and the reason why I'm saying all this is that so many State fans right now are just like dead set on, get rid of Dorn. Like get rid of him.
Right. He has none of that. He has none of those accolades, right?
Well, yeah. Well, and like, but again, like winning his head coach in NC State history, he does well against Carolina. He has the second most ACC wins over the last 6 years in the conference. And also he does everything right. Again, doesn't have, really any off-field issues. Like he does all right. And he's NC State through and through. He's a country guy. He's salty Dave, all that. But in order to get rid of him, you'd have to pay about $13 million to get rid of him right now, to get rid of him. And so it's, once again, at the end of the day, if Boo is not dead set, have a guy set up, ready to go, then there is a legitimate possibility if Doran doesn't want to retire, and if we don't have that person set up, ready to go, it just may not make sense to fire him unless we just absolutely crap the bed the rest of the season. There are some donors that come in saying, all right, let's get him out of here. Yeah. There's a legitimate possibility it might not happen. That's just kind of where I'm at, and it's just frustrating because I feel like it's so easy for fans to say, oh, well, this team sucks. Well, fire the coach. Oh, the offense sucks. Fire the coordinator. Oh, the defense sucks. Fire the defensive coordinator. It's so easy, but yet you're not in reality. Like, you have to pay the guy $13 million to let him go. And are you sure you're like, does NC State even want to commit from a financial perspective to give a guy like a Tulane coach, for example, interest to come to NC State? Like, that's what it's going to take. So anyway, that's my rant.
It's the leadership. Yep. It's the leadership syndrome. If you're the leader, something bad happens, everything's your fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and George says his head isn't in the game anymore. I think he wants to go. Children saying, like, again, if he retires, that's a whole different subject. But
it's just the money game for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, exactly. But just unless. But again, if he wants to stay, and as long as you don't crap the bed, I just don't see how it can work. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's closer to retiring than State firing him this year, at least. But I don't know. He's never had back-to-back losing seasons, and that could happen this year. So
well, especially when you have back-to-back losing seasons in year 12 and 13. That
right.
The projection of the team
trajectory is going down. Yeah.
Exactly.
And every year he has a quarterback that comes back. The starting quarterback comes back. He gets at least 7 wins.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, beginning.
Can I chime in on James Franklin real quick?
Well, real quick, is Macon here? Macon, are you there, bud?
Kind of like there, but
Macon, you there? All right, guess not. Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was just gonna say real quick where James Franklin went wrong is he didn't bring Chad Powers on campus. That if he would have stuck with Chad Powers, he probably wouldn't get fired. For anyone that doesn't get that joke, it was the Chad Powers, aka Eli Manning. He did one of those little funny things, and now it's actually a TV show. I watched the first couple episodes; it's not too bad. But no, it is insane in all seriousness to think that you can just write a check for $50 million to tell someone, yeah, thank you, but no thanks. And after
great
what he's
coach.
done, like, it's insane to think that there's that kind of money floating around, and and they don't even think twice about it.
Yeah,
And the crazier part too, Michael, I want to let you say, the AD said he knew Saturday night that it was his decision, but he was going to sleep on it. But I'm sitting here like, so wait, so he knew before that game even happened?
Well, I
he
think
could
that
have
was just
$50 million
that was the final
available.
straw.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Penn State's
Well,
they
yeah,
have one of
well,
the biggest
I think
alumni bases in the country. Like,
I think the decision was made after the UCLA game, and they were just waiting for the opportunity. And Northwestern game was the opportunity. I think Tom O'Brien was a similar deal. That Virginia game was the nail in the coffin.
But Maryland would have done it if sooner if that didn't happen. So go ahead, Michael. You want to say something? Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't lose.
Yeah,
as
not
20-point
three.
favorites. Not back to back like that.
It's never happened in the history since point betting or whatever. What have you
spread?
Yeah, spread. Betting, thank you. Point spreads. That's the first time it's ever happened since point spreads were invented.
Yeah, you just can't do it. And it's kind of the same thing. Well, it's similar to Doran, and it's not. But because I mean, Franklin, you can argue, has underperformed his resources, where Doran, he's outperformed.
Yeah, you can definitely say,
but they're the same in that they can't get over the hump for different reasons. But it's the same thing that they can't get. For us, we can't get to that 10-win ACC title. For James Franklin, it's national championship, which Penn State has all the resources in the world. So
yeah. I mean, they have 105,000 seat stadium. Right. It's in fact, it's going through. I think the renovation. I'm kind of half joking when I say this, but I bet the renovations that stadium is going through is probably more than state paid for Carter Finley Stadium. And I'm again half joking about it, but that's just kind of to your point, Michael. Like the amount of money they're able to throw at these things. It's night and day. So again, that needs to be part of the conversation when people have expectations on what a team should do and shouldn't do. And you're right. Like we have overperformed for a while now on the football side of things compared to what the money we put into the program.
Yeah, but like I was saying, if Doran starts 6 games, that's all he wins. Like now you're like, okay, you're not outperforming your resources anymore. You're struggling, and then the trajectory is going down.
And the Murphy Center is over 20 years old. And only reason it's gotten a couple of minor updates to it because the ACC told us we had to. Like we had a racquetball court in there that got turned into a media studio. That's not really helping the student athletes so much. And we talked about it a few weeks ago where the barbershops in the shower stalls essentially. Like if you want to compete, you have to put money into it. Like it's just that simple. Now that doesn't guarantee results, but it gives you a puncher's chance.
Correct. Yep. Nope. Absolutely. So, I mean, really, all that kind of building off is just saying like, listen, at the end of the day, what in big picture here, what Coach Doran has accomplished, again, everything I'd mentioned accolades wise, even though it doesn't include AC championship, even though it doesn't include 10 wins, things like that. I get it. But all that is that, there's no such thing as loyalty to nobody no more, to the coach, to a player, to a fan. There's no loyalty anywhere anymore. Like everybody is touchable. The bank. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that is loyal. Exactly. Yeah. Like again, like when has being a fired football coach become the greatest job in the world, basically? Like that's only really become a thing really recently, so
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of Gruden's whole shtick, right? The FFCA fired football coaches of America or something like that. It's kind of like they've made a brand off of it. It's like it's a rite of passage, and you get a patch and put it on your coat.
Yep. So, so again, just like George is saying here in the chat as well, I feel like he let things slide without him knowing, like the kicker at start of the year. I get that. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't approve it and just slip by. So again, all this being said and I get it for sure. If he retires, it's a very simple conversation. And honestly, if he retires, every NC State fan should be just I mean, like that would honestly be doing us a big favor. It'd be doing us a big favor. It would just it would take away the financial burden, and it would allow us to look at what else is out there.
But our guy,
much more freedom.
Our guy Ryan kind of put it out on a tweet the other day, maybe it was yesterday, and we've had it in our private chat. Like, this is a tough cycle if you're going to go after coaches.
There's a lot of jobs.
So it doesn't look like when we got Will Wade, right? Like there wasn't as many high profile jobs, but there's Penn State, there's UCLA, there's going to be maybe LSU, definitely Florida, Arkansas's out there.
Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
Florida State,
Oklahoma
maybe.
State.
Yeah.
Florida State.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of premier programs that have a lot more money than NC State.
Exactly. So all that being said, once again, Greg, if Doran wants to stay, there's a legitimate chance it just might not work out for makes sense for us to let him go again. If Boo again, we don't want to fire Doran and pay $13 million to go find scraps.
Well, I don't know if we can do that after having done that with Keat. Like I don't know what our financial situation looks like.
Exactly.
We're still paying off Keats. Now we're having to pay Wade, and we're having to do UNC could definitely happen. Duke could be in play.
Yeah, because someone
Diaz,
Penn State or someone else could hire Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz coached at Penn State.
Diaz is actually the money line favorite right now to get the job.
Yeah, he was there. He was there right before he went to Duke.
Yep.
I think he was their linebackers coach, if I'm not mistaken, or DC.
Yeah, we could see it. We could see a year where State, Carolina, and Duke are all hiring new football coaches.
Yeah,
that's true.
Mm-hmm. And again, I don't
crazy.
I don't like our pecking order in this whole thing, But I will say, if we are in this game, I do like Boo leading the search. I think
Yes.
I think he can pull some
Boo
stuff.
We trust.
Yeah,
I mean, every coach he's hired at this point at State and
10 out of
previously.
10 out of 10.
I think he hired Jeff Monken in Army, and
hell, I would bring Jeff Monken back.
Yeah,
I think he's in the NFL now.
I think if it had been a couple years ago, I think he would be considered, but I think he's kind of too old at this point.
Yeah,
he's probably going to retire.
Fair.
But like he's got Army winning 10 games.
No.
Crazy.
No.
Take him, finally make the Army Navy game actually, interesting instead of just
Navy
giving it to Navy every year. So,
Navy last year. Settle down, guys. Settle down. Settle down. Happy birthday, Navy. Today's the Navy's birthday. So,
happy birthday, Navy.
That's right. 250 years strong.
So we'll kind of use this comment to kind of transition here a little bit. But George saying football makes money. It should be football first and pull football revenue into basketball. And again, we've talked about there is some truth for sure. I mean, like it is important for football to be a revenue generator, and that is that is the pressing hand of why it would make sense in terms of making a decision to move on for next season, is because season tickets will probably drop from a numbers perspective if Doran's the coach next year, and if the season continues the way it's looking.
Well, and ironically, the season tickets email went out this past weekend.
Yeah, no, they were trying to take advantage before the Notre Dame game. It's a smart move. I don't blame them whatsoever. I do the same thing. It makes perfect sense. So, but so let's put it this way again. We've talked about before, and we'll keep this very simple, but it takes probably 1/10 of the money to be in the top 25 in basketball than it does in football. If I had to guess. I'm doing math in my head.
I mean, you
do math now.
7 to 9 million get you in good position for basketball. I would say 25 or so.
Yeah.
I
say
a
quarter.
Quarter. I'd say quarter. Yeah.
A quarter of the money.
Yeah.
But we just have to see what happens with the season. I mean,
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves still.
We are. No, 100%.
If State somehow gets. I don't think it's crazy to say we win 3 out of the last 5.
Well, it's funny that somebody in our Discord put do we win 1? And I'm like, yeah, we win 1.
I think 2. I think 2 happens for sure. You can definitely make cases for what's that?
Carolina and who?
Florida State.
Yeah.
Look at Florida State.
Florida State's 0-3, and Do they have a
Yeah.
good track record playing night games in Carter Finley?
Well, and they've already shown that they can quit on their team.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the second to the last
That's what
game
I'm
of the
saying.
season.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, but point being, like, if State gets to 7, wins 8 in a bowl game, maybe, or 6 with 7 in a bowl game, it's like I don't think you're firing him at that point. So it's like you're just okay. It's a game to retire,
which is tough, right? Because
Yeah.
again, you're really not projecting a whole lot, especially as of now, looking at the recruiting numbers, and that can change. The signing days in I think November or December. I can't remember when it is now, but it's not looking great. I think we're like 60th right now. So are people excited? And it goes back to your point, Leighton. Is there enough excitement for people to renew season tickets? That's really what's going to drive this, honestly, in a crazy weird way. It's the how are we looking for season ticket? Look, we've sold out, I think, almost all of our home games again this year. I know Georgia. Yeah. I know Georgia Tech got sold out, and I'm assuming Carolina will be sold out. The only one I'm not sure about is FSU. So it's hard. Like, you're bringing in money.
Right. Well, and here's the funny thing too. Hunter Smith brings up. I want to bring it up. Hunter Smith brings up how he lost to offensive lineman today in recruiting. Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Again, high school recruiting does not matter.
I don't get as wound up on the high school stuff anymore.
He was an O lineman from Ohio, and Ohio State offered him.
Right. They hadn't offered him at that point.
Yeah.
Well, and he's a 3-star too. It's. I mean, so like he's probably even looking at that, be like, yeah, no, I'm. That's generous. I'll take it. Absolutely. So, but yeah, no, we're getting ahead of ourselves for sure. But it just really has, obviously, again, James Franklin being fired just opened up a whole new reality. I never thought would exist.
It's gonna be a crazy offseason. It's gonna be crazy.
Honestly, if you're into coaching searches, like those dominoes are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: once you pull in from someone, other jobs will come open most of the time, at least from a head coaching perspective. So it'll be interesting to see where it finally ends up.
Some high school in Ohio is going to lose their coach because James Franklin got fired.
Yeah,
it's good.
Right. They're going to be like a offensive coordinator,
right?
Analyst
at a D3 school.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Who lost their offensive coordinator to a D2 head coach.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on.
Yep.
And on and on.
I would love for someone to like track that, right? Like the domino or the carousel. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Nope. That good old coaching carousel. Round and round it goes. So, but right now it's like going faster than ever has before, just flying at lightning speed. So, so kind of getting to it here, finally transferring over to basketball here. So obviously the big news for today was that State got one spot outside the top 25 and number 26 behind Carolina at 25. So I'll ask you, Carson, first, since you're finally back here with us here. I loved it. Do you like it? What are your thoughts on it? Number 26, just outside top 25.
Snub? I think I don't think it's a snub just because, first year head coach, completely new roster. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to let it you have to let it see how it plays out. I like it when we're under the radar better. I don't want this to be like a full on hype thing to start off, even though the hype has done, but
I think it's
you get what I mean.
I think it's great. It's great. I mean, you're 26, so like, if you go,
we're definitely
2 games, you'll be ranked. Like,
we're definitely getting attention. We just gotta go out and do our thing, and we'll get the full respect.
Yeah. All right, Greg, go at it.
First off, it's straight up disrespectful.
There we go.
But with that being said, I like it because Will Wade be like, "Oh, look at it. They don't give about you, right?" So, so I'm okay with it in that regard. I don't think Carolina's done anything to, again, it's the brand. They get it. Yep. They get brand points, if you will, to be put in there. But the beauty of college basketball is the polls really don't mean crap. You know, it's about, you know, your net and all this other nonsense. They don't even really take the polls into a huge consideration when they're making their selections. So just go out and win ball games. It'll all work itself out. Yeah, I everyone else had kind of been putting us in front of Carolina and all these other polls, and then you get the AP. Which, by the way, if the AP poll is any indication of what they do for football, most of these yahoos don't know what the hell they're talking about anyway. So they just see a UNC powder blue bullshit in front of their logo, and they're like 14th. Most of them aren't doing their research. So again, at the end of the day, I don't really care. It is disrespectful, but I know if it's anything like Will Wade at the ACC tip-off last week and Darion Williams' picture being incorrect, he's going to use that, and it's gonna feed this team, and I'm all for it.
That's
Sorry, I don't know if we were going to talk about that, but I just wanted to kind of pull that into it.
He legitimately might be preseason ACC Player of the Year, and they put up the wrong picture for him.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But again, this is what I love. I love it. Yeah. And Will Wade ain't gonna take no from nobody.
Salty Wade, we're gotta get it trending. Yeah. Well, but I loved it even more though. How again he doesn't really talk a lot about the Carolina Duke rivalry, but yet he just had to bring it up that if it was Carolina or Duke players, that probably that you know wrong picture issue wouldn't have happened. And it's like you're probably right. So, but yeah, no, again like. Does Carolina have any player that they know for sure, or even have a thought is going to be better than Darion Williams? Like, that's my thing. Is I'm sitting here like why are you so
not proven?
Not proven, not like Darion Williams.
But,
so that by itself should put us ahead of Carolina by itself. So
yeah, I just think we're deeper.
Yeah.
No one is talking. I get it. Some of this is the Will Wade effect. But no one's talking in the triangle about Carolina, and they're barely talking about Duke. And allegedly, Duke just lost a secret scrimmage to DePaul.
Jeez. Well, and again,
allegedly, I don't have anything. It's secret. So, but someone
your starters for the season are coming from Houston, Michigan State, Texas Tech, Carolina. And anyway, I mean,
Paul McNeil probably gets that. Paul McNeil probably gets that starting point at least to begin this season.
But point being, but my point is that on Carolina side, you have a guy that you paid a lot of money for from Colorado State. That is a huge risk. You know nothing. You have no clue how that's going to transfer over to Carolina. And
it may work, it may not. I don't know.
It may work, it may not. But again, that's what I'm saying.
I think NC State brings back the most. I mean, granted, they weren't on their team or their original roster from last year, but I think we have the most postseason minutes games of any team. Basketball.
No, Will Wade talked about that at his press conference. He said it was like by far the best in the ACC by 200 minutes.
Yeah. I think he was minutes. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah, it's not even close.
Yep. But Preacher Man is saying I don't give a crap about preseason top 25. Completely get it for sure. You earn your ranking. You're standing by your play. All the other stuff is speculation if you're not in practice. Yeah. No. Again, it's at the end of the day, it means nothing. 100% agree for sure. I mean, look at the AP poll in football, college football this year, right? You know, it does mean nothing. But it's just like it's just another case where state doesn't get the respect it deserves. It's simple as that.
It's always been that way. We always have
it's always been that way. It's just,
always.
It's just it's not a dagger. It's just it's a twist. It's just a twist. It's like I know it's there, and now I'm feeling it once again. That dagger in my back. So,
but it doesn't mean we have to accept it either. Like we're not just going to lay down and take it. Like
no. Wade's gonna be pissed off. That's why I love it.
Yeah,
I said it. I love it. I love we're not ranked. I don't care they were 26. So then they were not ranked. There's not going to be a number beside NC State in game 1 or probably game 2. So that's probably all I'm saying. So, probably game 3. Yeah, probably game 3. We'll turn around.
Somebody in the top 25 is going to lose, and we've got
there's going to be an upset. I don't think our schedule is going to dictate that, but it's our first 3 games. Central, UAB, and then Greensboro. Yeah, we
Yeah.
really don't. We really like we get to game 4. We got VCU, and then we go out to Maui in game 5.
And I
so
think
we might make a little hay there.
And it might be
Yep.
UNC. Honestly, I think they have Kansas like their second or third game.
Yeah,
So-
some of those I will give we get some good scheduling a little bit later into it, but you do have to give like the Dukes and the Carolinas credit for their early scheduling, but that's most likely because TV kind of dictates some of that stuff. They want those
Yeah,
good early
absolutely.
season matchups. But still, again, like Preacher Man said, it'll all work itself out. Just go out and win ball games and let your talking do itself on the court or on the scoreboard, actually.
Well, another big news as well, Chucky Brown being named a radio analyst for NC State basketball this year. Carson, man, I mean, I obviously from an NC State fan perspective, it's you love to see it for sure. Again, a guy that has plenty of experience and a wealth of knowledge. So for anybody who's not able to watch a game and having to listen to the game, I mean, you're pretty excited about the product that you feel like you're gonna receive when you listen to the radio, play-by-play radio.
Yeah, I mean, being a former player as well, he has that knowledge that not a lot of fans know. Even if he played the game in like high school or whatever, still he played at extra levels, and so he has that knowledge to really be successful in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how both the men's and women have former state basketball players as their radio analysts. So just
awesome.
It is good, right? And obviously this is coming from Gary Hahn, obviously pre-retiring last year. Now Tony Haynes this year, and so that's the reason for the change. But I'm excited to hear. It's always good to have a good homer call, and then someone that look. Tony and Gary were great, but they weren't basketball players per se. So I think maybe you might get a little bit different insight, a little different, call with having a former player, especially having been there, done that. You just get a little bit of a different feel from it, and I'm kind of excited to get some new blood in there.
Absolutely, yeah. So, Michael, any thoughts about Chucky Brown coming to the radio?
No, it's great. I think it's a really good replacement there.
Yep.
Especially after he got screwed from his last job, where the university just shut down. Right. He was a head coach at a small, I don't know if it was like a D3 school.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the school, but I just know that I know. In fact, I think he still may be going through some litigation from how all that ended up. But so it's good to see that he was able to kind of land on his feet, and probably something. Maybe more he might enjoy, to be honest with you, a little less stressful.
Yeah, especially if you're at a school that's going bankrupt.
Yeah, thanks, Benjamin. D2, St. Augustine. It was St. Augustine. I mean, I know they had a blue logo. I just couldn't remember what it was, but yeah, that's insane to think about.
Yeah. So gotta love Chilton in there with I believe the tides are changing in BB, and of course you say it's definitely changing for sure. I mean, obviously it's exciting the fact that we're going to be able to experience, like, we're hopefully for this season, y'all, that we can take that book where fans just love to open it and go, NC State basketball should be playing in Reynolds Coliseum again. We could just take that book, close it up, and file it away for the season, and hopefully for the few seasons to come, because once again, hopefully we'll experience what PNC Arena is all about when it's absolutely rocking this season. And
we'll find out real quick on opening night.
Oh yeah, when Matthew Abel goes with a one-hander, or Van Al Lubin shoots a 3 for fun, So let's I do want to ask, though, since media day is behind us here a little bit, I do want to ask one fun basketball question before we move on over some baseball here. Michael, besides Darian Williams, who are you the most bullish on this season?
Man, I knew that's what you were gonna ask.
Yeah, no layups. We're going for 3 point. We're going for half court shots here. All right.
It's a hard question to answer. I mean,
yeah.
Because just kind of through social media and reports that have come out from practice every couple of weeks, seems like it's a different guy. Like Matt Abel was getting a ton of praise early in the summer. lately, Paul McNeil, people have been saying he's been lighting it up. I think it'll be one of those two because I think they have the highest ceiling, and I think Paul McNeil will get the first shot at it, being the older guy. So I'll go Paul McNeil.
Yep. Carson, what you got, bud?
I would probably say either Paul McNeil or Trey Hallman just to see his leadership on the team.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that one. Greg, what you got, bud?
I'll go a little bit different. I actually have two people that are we talking just straight up leadership? Is that what we're talking? Sorry, I was reading the chat.
Most exciting
breakout player.
Yeah, like what player you most bullish on? What player you most bullish on?
I'll go Kadir Copeland. I think he's a guy that State fans really didn't like when he was with Syracuse, and kind of like the steer of the pot. And he's one of those guys where you hate him when he's on the other team, but he's your dude when he's on your team. And just I think he's going to be kind of the glue guy to this team. He's going to get a lot of minutes, going to be playing a lot of different positions. Knows Will Wade from his time at
McNeese.
Thank you. I always can never say that word. I don't know why McNeese gives me so much trouble. I always want to say McNeese, and that's I know it's not right. But yeah, his time at McNeese. So yeah, I'll go Kadir Copeland.
I'm going to go Musa here. I think that he's been getting a lot of
praise.
Yep. And also too, I think that because here's my thing is that I think Carolina UNC is so easy to say right now that they have the edge over us at the 5 position. They're so easy to say it, saying we're taller than them for sure. But here's my thing is I truly do think Van Lubin is totally set up to take a step forward, and especially against Carolina. Because here's my thing. Yeah. I have I feel like it's the easiest bet in the world to say when we play Carolina, Van Lubin is going to play his butt off. He's going to have a heck of a game, period. Yeah. Like, just because it's Carolina. But also, too, I think that, again, with Musa, I think he's a guy that just like the fact that that name hasn't even come up yet just goes so, not that like disrespect or anything like that, but just he's kind of lost in the weeds.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of new
lost in the weeds. But also, too, because he just got to campus 3 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, something like that. So
more or less,
he just got here
a month,
maybe
a month.
Yeah. Maybe a month.
Yeah. So again, I think that honestly, Musa and Van Lubin can prove this season that they're probably, if not number one, the second best duo down low in the ACC this year. Go ahead, Michael.
And he's played at the highest level out of any of these guys. Like that league he's playing in, was it France or Spain? I forget.
I thought it was France, but I could be wrong.
France.
I think it was Spain.
Yeah.
Spain. I was gonna say I think it's Spain actually. But anyway,
I knew it was one of them.
In Europe.
Europe. It's like one of the best leagues, if not the best league in Europe. So it's like he's going up against former NBA guys, and like I think that he could have a big year too.
Yeah. The one thing I'm kind of excited about that. Sorry, I know you didn't call me. I apologize. But one of the things from Will Wade's kind of breakout sessions, and I think it was from there, that they're shooting like 39% from 3-point range, which, man, that's a drastic change from last year. So what I'm excited about is like last year we only had maybe 2 guys maybe that were kind of consistent from 3. I think you're going to see guys, we didn't even talk about Dang. Like, Dang's a guy that can pop threes.
Yeah. He was actually the first guy I thought of, but then I thought about Musa. But then Musa didn't come up. I'm like, I got to talk about Musa.
Yeah. So but again, like, I think this bench goes pretty deep, and Darion Williams can hit 3. Like, I'm excited if we're able to move the ball pretty effectively, which, some of the clips, and again, those are edited and they show you what they wanted you to see. But they've shown multiple clips of the ball rotating all around the perimeter and hitting that one extra pass, things that you kind of haven't seen in the last few years. So if that stuff comes to fruition, it could be really exciting. But again, we have to temper. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, we have to temper. Yeah. But yeah, Benjamin saying my sleeper is Colt Langston. Colt 45.
Colt 45. It's a great nickname.
It's a great nickname for sure. So I think that is one of those guys that I think if his number is called upon, I think he can get the job done for you. And I think he can make do. Yeah, Children saying the jabs that Lubin makes in interviews about UNC cracks me up. Glad to be somewhere that values me. Or even Darian Williams as well, saying not only with Van Allen, but also to a former teammate as well that Carolina did wrong, his words. So him even saying he hates Carolina. Yeah. It's like, I love it. It's good. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. It's like we're not talking about Carolina as if it's like this giant that we're trying to compete against. Like all the words we're saying are rivalry words, but like you're beside me. You're not ahead of me.
Right.
You're beside me, which I love. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just going to say, like, again, tempering, but it sounds like we could be a top 3, top 4 type team in the ACC. And so if that happens, and granted, for as weird as it sounds, we were kind of hanging there for maybe half the season last year, and then kind of the wheels fell off. But it feels different. We talked about it last week where the North Carolina Central game is sold out, and we couldn't sell it out for dropping 2 banners.
Yeah.
And that just, you can't help but feel the excitement, right? Like, I feel like the last time we sold out Lenovo was probably like 2 years ago against Carolina.
No, the Clemson game for senior day.
Was it? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
But again, that's an ACC game, right? You would think that should be sold out, but this is a Monday night game against, a low level opponent. Sold out. It's going to be rocking. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. We're less than 3 weeks away from
3 weeks.
Yeah.
What is the exhibition game?
Oh, next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following one, the day after we play Pitt.
Okay.
Yeah, we play. That's the men and women's doubleheader, where the women play
USC,
Maryland. No, women play Maryland, and then the guys play South Carolina.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's in Greensboro.
Correct.
Yeah, Greensboro.
Right. Well, funny story about that. I think maybe I told this story. I was around one of the guys at the ACC baseball tournament back in the spring, and Will Way was on his phone, and he was like, "Look, I got to get off the phone. These guys want to meet me and talk to me, and I got to meet them while they still like me, because I'm not sure how that's going to feel after the first loss." It's a great point, Chilton. We got to just stay physically calm.
Correct.
Don't get too high, don't get too low. It's a long season.
It's a long season. Exactly. Yeah. No, there's a lot more than 12 football games in the regular season.
Right.
So there's plenty.
Wade's the greatest coach ever, and he hasn't lost a game.
Yeah.
That's right. I love it.
And he says all the right things too, right? Like, I just think he knows what to say. He knows what buttons to push. Kind of like he talked about the Darian Williams thing 3 times. He brought it up in his 12-minute press conference. Or I don't think it was even full 12 minutes. I think the whole clip was 12 minutes. And then the lady, the moderator finally, "I'm so sorry. Like, that's our mistake," And then he mentioned it again in his breakout. Like, I love that he's kind of salty, petty. He wants to make sure that he stands up for his guys. I think that's really the big thing that the point I wanted to make is he makes sure that his people are taken care of, because he knows if he takes care of them, they're going to take care of him in reverse. And so he understands that relationship. And I think that some of that played off when we got Cole Kohler a couple weeks ago. I think, he's mentioned it multiple times that relationships still do matter. It's not just about the NIL.
Yeah. Well, and I love even too, like his statement when I think it was the Field of 68 podcast asked him, like, or said, like, well, I guess we can say now that Darian Williams was paid a lot of money, right? And he said, and Will Wade said, I've always been able to say that, like just saying, like, yes, it's Darian Williams, like,
you think we got him for free?
First team all conference, like, all American, like, yes, he cost a good bit of money. Shocker, like, so.
Yeah. But I also think that we're getting some hometown discounts on some of this too, because of the relationships. Like, I don't know if we're necessarily paying full price. Now, we're definitely paying full price for some of these guys, but I think, if it comes down to, a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there, I think those relationships that's where those things really come into focus. And that Darion even said in his breakout last week that he wanted to come somewhere where he felt valued and that he could get better, that he thought Will Wade was the guy that could get him kind of over the hump, because again, Will Wade, Slater, all those guys have ties to the NBA. And so they can, talk to these other scouts and these other people and say, hey, like, what does this person need to do to get to the next level? And I think that's going to pay dividends, maybe not necessarily this year, but it definitely will in future years.
But here's my thing too, is that I think it all goes back to the tides changing, the tides changing comment earlier. I think with NC State, with the fact that you're in the triangle against Duke, Carolina, Wake Forest, with the history NC State has with Jimmy V, with them going to the Final Four, etc., I do truly think that if NC State is a top 20 team in the country and they're playing a good opponent or an ACC opponent, whatever that may be, it will get talked about at a national level. It will get talked about. The NC State name in basketball means way more in basketball than it does any other sport by far. And so I that's one thing I do guys say is I think that like it's just like the name is still the name. It's just waited for the right train to pull the wagon. You know what I mean? And I think this could have to be that. So I think from a publicity level, NC State can offer you everything that a Duke or Carolina can if the wagon's being pulled.
Well, and I think Will Wade is a name in the industry too that kind of gets some respect. Right. And so when you already have that, people will naturally gravitate to wanting to cover you. And if you have success, then they really want to continue to cover you.
Yeah. Like how many viewers did NC State versus Duke get just because it's NC State versus Duke? Period.
Right.
But now you have a really good chance of watching two top 20, top 15 teams that are also.
You'll get more of those casual fans. You'll get more of those casual fans to tune in. And that's huge because does revenue count for basketball as well for viewership, or is that just football?
No, I think it includes basketball.
So that's huge, right? If that's still part of the basketball conversation. But anyway,
absolutely.
All right, let's end this thing on baseball.
Yeah, no. Listen, guys. I obviously when it comes to baseball, I always love to kind of hand Greg the reins. So Greg, take us through it. Recap, the scrimmage, and then let's get your thoughts on it.
First off, I feel like some of the people probably listening, Brandon Chambers had a really awesome tweet over the weekend where Elliot Avent and the team went and paid respects to Coach Chambers' dad at Arlington. So I thought that was freaking awesome. Very class act, but don't expect anything less from Coach Avent and the baseball staff. They're super pro military, as all of our teams are, but it feels a little different coming from baseball. Coach Avent always gets it. So I just hats off to him and the team for making that stop while they were up here. The game was played in Fredericksburg on Saturday evening. The Pack did win 11-5. Not mistaken.
They ended up playing like 11 innings or whatever, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
Because I turned it on after the football game and I was watching it, and then it was I think State was the away team. So
yeah, but they were still hitting the bottom of the ninth. Like, yeah, it was
the bottom of the ninth, and we got the 3 outs, and I turned it off, and then I saw the tweet later, and it was 11-5, not 9-5, which was the score when I turned it off.
So they played a little extra.
I guess they kept playing.
Yeah, but I got some notes here. I kind of watched it yesterday and then kind of rewatched it again a little bit today, just so I could have some notes to talk about for the fall report. But State mostly focused on freshman pitchers and transfer pitchers. Really, none of our named arms didn't really make an appearance. That may change for the Carolina game this week. Not really sure kind of what the plan is, but definitely like what I saw offensively. So our guy Bargo, Dalton Bargo, hit a home run in his first at bat. Just absolutely turned on a pitch, pulled it right down the right field line. They didn't have it was a very plain broadcast, so they didn't have like exit velo or how fast pitchers were throwing. So don't really have it, but that ball was scorched. But you had you had 4, 5, and 6. So Bargo was McHugh was 4th, Bargo was 5th, or maybe I have it backwards. Bargo was 4th, McHugh 5th, and then Mikey Ryan 6th. All hit home runs in the game. Mikey Ryan hit a 2-run shot in the 3rd, and then McHugh also hit a 2-run blast in the 3rd as well. That we did a lot of damage there. A lot of new faces. Sherman Johnson, transfer, had a walk and a 3-base RBI, so he had a single and a triple. Luke Hemrick, true freshman out of Apex, worked 2 innings, gave up 3 singles. He walked 1, did strike out 2, gave up 2 runs. Pitched very well, I thought. Just got into some deep counts, a lot of 2-strike counts. So I did like what I saw from him. Everett Johnson, another transfer, had a stolen base and a double. Aiden Kitchens is a guy that we need to kind of keep an eye on. If that name sounds familiar, it should. That's Des Kitchens' son. He is a beast of a dude, true freshman out of Georgia. He threw 1 inning, had a strikeout, but his slider was nasty. I'm excited about him. Maybe get him some relief innings this year. I feel like all of our starting pitching is pretty much locked in.
Yeah.
As it should. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryder Garino, the transfer from South Carolina, threw 2 innings, gave up a walk and a strikeout. So pretty solid in his 2 innings of work. And then Collins Black, want to mention him, the transfer from Duke, came in a bases loaded situation in the 7th and got a key strikeout to get us out of the inning. So nice to see a high leverage situation, having him come in. That's probably going to be his role throughout the year. So good to see that. But yeah, I thought, we went out and did really well. Didn't make any, well, we did have 1 error. Luke had an error at second base, which it was a pretty hard hit ball, but probably a play that he should make. Yeah. So that pretty much sums up the game. Just a lot of just random stats thrown at you, but exciting to see.
Yeah.
This team's going to hit. This team's going to hit.
So you're saying you bought your Omaha tickets
to Omaha?
already, huh,
Yeah.
Greg?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I really liked it because the way State approached it was, freshmen and transfers in, but Wake Forest threw some of their guys. It wasn't just a kind of a scrap of whatever guys you might not see during the regular season. They actually threw, like, Morningstar is one of their pitchers that he started the game. Pretty decent pitcher, and we hit him pretty good. Again, small sample size. The approach that we took in this game, both teams, that's not going to be your typical approach for a regular season game. But it was good to see some guys out there, situational transfers. All the transfers, with the exception of Wiggins, looked really good. I think he had a limited action. I had him down as a strikeout. I don't remember if he did anything else, but definitely encouraged by Sherman Johnson. Dude's got speed. I think this team's got to have some speed. Johnson, who's a true freshman, got to start in left field, which was kind of a little bit of a surprise. But again, fall ball, don't really know what they're trying to achieve there. But yeah, hopefully optimistic there.
Love it.
We got a
lot of info.
Fall scrimmage again.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, we got
UNC this week.
Yep, UNC at the DPAP on Thursday. I think 6 or 6:30, if I'm not mistaken. Someone will have to fact check me on the time there. But yeah, a little bit different competition. Yeah, I think, again, if we can shore up the middle pitching is kind of got to be the thing. That's where we have to replace a lot of arms. But again, I think starters are going to be really good. Maybe some of these freshmen might be vying for a midweek starting position. Again, I don't know who is going to necessarily get that. I would feel at least, Cooper Consiglio would probably be at least in line for that to begin with. But again, I'm not sure. Oh, the other really one thing that I want to kind of mention, at least on Saturday, was a heavy left-handed lineup, which I love, especially at the Doak. So don't know if that's going to be a thing kind of moving forward, but a lot of left-handed hitters with pop in their bat.
Love it.
So Duden's in line to start, right? Be a starter.
Oh yeah. So again, we're going to have most likely two righties and a lefty. So, do you go righty, righty for the weekend? I mean, I feel like Marone should be the Friday starter. and maybe go Duden
think
Saturday,
so.
Nance Sunday,
Yeah.
just because of kind of the seniority on the team. But again,
I
don't
love that
know
lineup.
if that's how
I
they're going to
like it.
approach it. But
Yeah.
then you have Heath Andrews, who was a starter last year.
Right.
So does he maybe slide to midweek? Him or Cooper? I would assume the three names that I just mentioned would be your weekend starters, but I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. So stay tuned.
So we
Well-
like, if that the reason I'm asking is like we've got to find a kind of a closer now, right? It's probably
Right.
going to be one of these new guys, I would think, or
Could
a freshman.
be. Yeah. Maybe. Again, I don't know if you want to put that on a freshman, but
Yeah.
like I could see an Aiden Kitchens kind of being that guy,
Right.
big, tall, power arm, nasty slider, kind of like what you were getting from Duden previously.
So I was thinking,
But again, that's a true freshman,
Yeah.
but he looked good in his outing. Again, just one outing. It was encouraging definitely to see the freshman pitchers throwing the way that they were. But you guys, you have, you have Morris there, who's a big guy, could be a power arm, but he's coming off of Tommy John. So not sure what kind of innings he would get, but it's encouraging. Just got to see more of it.
I love it. Yeah. And Preacher Man coming down here also saying State should have Greg and Justin Cook help call a game on the radio. That would be fantastic. So
Yeah.
Greg, what we got to do to make that happen, bud?
Yeah, no,
you let me know.
Well, I did my duty out in Hawaii a few years ago, and
yeah,
True.
that was fun and nerve-wracking at the same time because
No pressure.
there's a lot of pressure, but it was fun. Like I enjoy baseball. I don't make any bones about
Enjoy
it.
baseball.
Baseball's my jam.
Yep.
Definitely love all the sports, but yeah, it'll
Yep.
be fun. I'm excited. I think last year I thought we were a year ahead. If we were able to pull off that tournament run out of Auburn. I always felt this was the year that was lining up. All of our guys are going to be, a lot of our guys are draft eligible this year. Yeah. Ty had a nice little appearance. He was on base a couple times, gotten into a fun run down in the third, kind of forced the issue. Yeah, I really think speed is going to be a thing this year. Again, it's not really what we typically are known for, other than the Trey Turner days, but yeah, I think this team's going to be good. Really do.
Yep. No, absolutely. And then, yeah, obviously too, NC State women's basketball.
Yep.
I think it was yesterday. Got a big commitment from a 4-star guard. And so definitely, love to see Westmore continuing to
That was
cook
cool. Did you
out on the recruiting trail. Go ahead.
did
Go
you
ahead,
see the
Michael.
video of her commitment?
Oh, of course.
Kimura
Yeah, that was
Pruitt
That was
Kimura
one of my
Pruitt.
favorite commitment videos I've ever seen,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's
I
cool.
love that.
Yeah.
Too cool. Well, especially for her to come all the way from what was it, Ohio?
She's from Georgia, I believe.
Georgia. Okay, yeah. So like came all this way from Georgia to Raleigh just to commit in person. Like that was so cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
love that. But anywho though, so any thoughts on her, Michael, before we wrap this up here?
She's a top 30 player.
Yeah.
It's big get. So
that's how West rolls.
Yeah,
That's how
she's
West
6'2"
rolls.
combo guard.
Mhm.
Yeah, I watched some of her tape. She could be, I don't know, like I don't know if she's necessarily a point guard, but she's probably more of an off guard. But
I kind of see her more like a small forward, actually.
yeah.
Her size, just because of her size.
Yeah. But she can shoot. She can shoot.
Mhm.
At least from her highlights. Again, they're highlights that they make for themselves, so that obviously they're not going to show any of the misses. But nice stroke there on her shot. But yeah, West just keeps plugging and playing, man. Just keeps plugging and playing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that season as well.
They were picked as preseason favorites last week because they had their thing. We didn't talk about them, but the ACC crew had them as the preseason number one. I don't know, how it's going to shake out when the rest of the media, but that was kind of the talk around.
I looked at the preseason, like ESPN's way too early poll. They had us at 8th overall. They had Duke at 9th and Carolina at 11th.
Well, and they had Tennessee at 7, and we start the season with Tennessee.
Yeah,
That's right. So
It's gonna be fun
it'll be a
here.
fun season. A lot to look forward
Mm-hmm.
to for sure for NC State. So if you're just every single day tweeting out Dorn should be fired, who's James Franklin coming in town, maybe go out, touch some grass and come back in and go, well, you
Touch
got
some grass.
basketball coming, you got baseball coming, you got men's soccer right now, you got tennis coming.
They had a nice one over
you know.
Clemson over the other day.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They just keep
First
chugging along.
time they beat Clemson since like 2013 or something.
It's been a minute, Carson, our resident soccer person. Do you have that stat handy?
What's that?
Last time we beat Clemson.
Last time we beat
They
Clemson.
they showed it on the broadcast. I forget what year. I think it was like early 2010s.
Yeah. Well, Clemson's a really good program.
Mhm.
They won the national championship in 21 and in 23.
I thought.
Yeah, and we played them in 23 at home, and we're winning for a lot of the game, but Clemson scored late and tied. So
That's a huge deal, though. I mean, these are things like men's soccer is doing unprecedented things this season. So,
and the women's team is playing a lot better as well. They've had a complete turnaround since ACC play started.
Yeah, they beat somebody. Well, they almost beat FSU a couple weeks ago, and then
they beat Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
They beat Wake Forest. Yeah.
So again, if you're gonna
by the way, both boo hires.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
So just
absolutely
kind of bringing it back.
And wrestling too is going to be really good this year too. We'll talk plenty of that as well. So again, there's a lot of good stuff.
Wrestle offs are happening. I think 2 weeks. Yeah, at the Georgia Tech game.
Yep, exactly. So, all right, well, Pack Nation, we'll wrap it up there. If you enjoyed this conversation, y'all, do us a big favor if you haven't already. Make sure if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure to do that as a huge helper to us for sure. If you enjoy this conversation as well, make sure to hit that like button as well if you're watching us on YouTube. But also too, if you listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to us, do us a big favor and leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate that as well, as that really helps us a ton. And make sure to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, y'all. But with that being said, hey, y'all, enjoy the bye week for sure.
We won't lose this week.
We won't lose. We won't do that. So, but anyway, y'all, with that being said, y'all be good as always. Go Pack, y'all. And also too, baseball is the best per Greg. So